The Great Plains in 1828, a contested frontier. The Great Plains in 1828 were a land of paradox, at once tranquil and tumultuous. These sweeping expanses held an undeniable allure, with their endless horizons, fertile valleys, and teeming wildlife. For the tribes who lived here, the land was not just a geographical space. It was a lifeline, a spiritual anchor, and a battlefield where their identities were forged and defended. To outsiders, the Great Plains might have seemed monotonous, but to those who called it home, every hill, river, and prairie carried significance. This region, spanning thousands of miles, from the Mississippi River in the east to the Rocky Mountains in the west, was far from homogeneous. It was a mosaic of ecosystems and terrains, each demanding unique adaptations from its inhabitants. In the early 19th century, the dynamics of this land were changing. The arrival of settlers, fur trappers, and traders had introduced new tensions. Intertribal conflicts over resources, territories, and trade routes were intensifying as tribes secure their place in an increasingly competitive landscape. Two of the most dominant forces in this arena were the Comanche and the Cheyenne. Each tribe brought its unique culture, strategies, and aspirations, making their inevitable collision a defining moment in the history of the plains. The Comanche, lords of the southern plains. The Comanche were a people of unparalleled mobility and adaptability. Their mastery of horsemanship was not merely a skill, but an art form that set them apart from other tribes. The horse, introduced to the Americas by Spanish colonizers, had been adopted and perfected by the Comanche, transforming their way of life and elevating them to unparalleled dominance across the southern plains. For the Comanche, horses were not only a means of transportation, but also a measure of wealth, a symbol of prestige, and a tool of war. By 1828, their control of the Comanche, a vast region encompassing parts of modern-day Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Kansas, was nearly absolute. This dominance was maintained through a combination of trade, diplomacy, and relentless warfare. Among the Comanche, the rise of leaders like Bull Hump illustrated the tribe's capacity to adapt to the challenges of their time. Bull Hump was not a hereditary chief, but an emerging war leader whose influence stemmed from his charisma, tactical acumen, and ability to inspire young warriors. His reputation was built on his fearlessness in battle and his strategic mind, which often turned the tide of conflict in the Comanche's favor. The Cheyenne, guardians of the northern plains. To the north, the Cheyenne were undergoing their own transformation. Originally a woodland people, the Cheyenne had migrated onto the plains in the late 17th century, adapting swiftly to their new environment. By 1828, they had become one of the most formidable tribes in the region, known for their discipline, resilience, and unity. The Cheyenne's identity was deeply rooted in their spirituality. The tribe adhered to a code of ethics and governance, encapsulated in their sacred ceremonies and rituals. The arrow renewal ceremony, for instance, symbolized their commitment to peace and balance, even as they prepared for war when necessary. Yellow Wolf, a Cheyenne leader, embodied this duality. Revered for his wisdom and tactical prowess, Yellow Wolf was a steadying force in turbulent times. His leadership was marked by a deep sense of duty to his people, particularly in safeguarding the village, which was the heart of Cheyenne life. The role of horses' wealth, mobility, and power central to the rivalry between the Comanche and the Cheyenne was their shared reliance on horses. On the plains, horses were everything. A means of survival, a tool of conquest, and a barometer of status. A tribe's strength was often measured by the size and quality of its horse herd. For the Comanche, horses were the foundation of their raiding economy. They conducted extensive raids into neighboring territories, capturing horses and using them to trade for guns, ammunition, and other essential goods. These raids were not acts of wanton aggression, but calculated maneuvers to maintain their dominance and economic stability. The Cheyenne, too, valued horses highly. As their migration brought them into the southern plains, they began to compete with the Comanche for access to the best grazing lands and water sources. This competition was both a practical and symbolic struggle, as control over horses often translated to control over the plains themselves. Bensford, a catalyst for conflict amid this volatile landscape. The trading post near the Hafrano River, later known as Bensford, emerged as a pivotal player. Established by William Bent, and his partners. The fort was strategically located to serve as a hub for trade between Native American tribes, settlers, and trappers. It was a microcosm of the broader forces shaping the plains, a place where cultures converged. Alliances were forged and rivalries were stoked. For the Comanche, the fort was both a resource and a challenge. It provided access to goods that were otherwise difficult to obtain, such as firearms, metal tools, and cloth. However, it also attracted other tribes to the region, intensifying competition for trade and resources. When Bull Hump approached Ben for information about the Cheyenne, the trader found himself in a precarious position. His response, acknowledging the presence of a Cheyenne party traveling from the northeast, was deliberately vague, reflecting the delicate balance he had to maintain between the two tribes. The Comanche planned precision and secrecy. Armed with Ben's confirmation, Bull Hump began to formulate his strategy. The target was clear: the Cheyenne horse herd along Bissau Creek. However, the execution required careful planning. A raid on such a well-guarded asset demanded both stealth and audacity. Bull Hump's band consisted of some of the Comanche's most skilled warriors. These men were not only adept at riding and archery, but also masters of psychological warfare. Their ability to instill fear in their enemies was as much a weapon as their bows and lances. The raid was set to take place under the cover of darkness, a tactic that played to the Comanche's strengths. Night raids minimized the risk of detection and capitalized on the disorientation of their adversaries. For Bull Hump, the element of surprise was not just a strategy, but a necessity. The Cheyenne camp, vigilance and vulnerability. Meanwhile, the Cheyenne camp along Bissau Creek was bustling with activity. The tribe was in the midst of preparations for a trading expedition, which included capturing and taming wild horses. This endeavor was both a testament to their resourcefulness and a source of vulnerability, as it required the allocation of manpower that might otherwise have been used for defense. Yellow Wolf, ever vigilant, had taken precautions to safeguard the camp. Guards were posted around the perimeter, and the herd was closely monitored. Yet even the most diligent preparations could not entirely eliminate the risk of a surprise attack, especially from adversaries as cunning as the Comanche. The raid chaos in the night. On the appointed night, the Comanche launched their attack. Their approach was almost ghostly, with the warriors moving in near silence until the moment of the strike. When the assault came, it was swift and overwhelming. The Cheyenne guards were caught off guard, their shouts of alarm drowned out by the war cries of the Comanche. Chaos erupted as the raiders drove the horses away from the camp, leaving a trail of confusion and panic in their wake. For Bull Hump and his men, the raid was a success. They had secured a valuable prize and dealt a psychological blow to their rivals. Yet the victory was not without cost, as the noise of the attack had alerted Cheyenne warriors returning to the camp. The Cheyenne counterattack, a testament to resilience. Yellow Wolf's return to the camp marked a turning point. Assessing the situation with remarkable speed, he rallied his warriors and set off in pursuit of the raiders. His leadership in this moment was a testament to his resolve and his deep understanding of both his people and his enemies. The Cheyenne's counterattack was swift and decisive. Splitting his forces, Yellow Wolf ensured that the wild horses they had captured earlier were protected while leading a contingent of warriors to intercept the Comanche. By dawn, the Cheyenne had caught up with their adversaries. The ensuing battle was a dramatic clash of wills, with both sides fighting fiercely to achieve their objectives. The battle at dawn, valor and strategy. The plains echoed with the sounds of combat as the two forces collided. The Cheyenne, fueled by their determination to reclaim their horses, fought with unparalleled ferocity. The Comanche, though outnumbered, relied on their mobility and tactical ingenuity to hold their ground. Walking Coyote, Yellow Wolf's stepson, emerged as a key figure in the battle. His daring act of reclaiming a prized Comanche horse became a symbol of the Cheyenne's resilience and ingenuity. Yellow Wolf's leadership was instrumental in turning the tide. Recognizing the importance of maintaining pressure on the Comanche, he ordered his warriors, armed with firearms, to create a defensive line, allowing others to focus on retrieving the stolen horses. This strategy proved effective, forcing the Comanche into a retreat. The Cheyennes' victory was celebrated with a mixture of jubilation and solemnity. They had not only recovered their horses, but also reinforced their reputation as formidable defenders of their territory. For Yellow Wolf and his warriors, the battle was a testament to their unity, courage, and resourcefulness. For the Comanche, the defeat was a humbling experience. Bull Hump and his men returned to their camp with a renewed understanding of the challenges they faced in maintaining their dominance. The clash between the Comanche and the Cheyenne in 1828 was more than a localized conflict. It was a reflection of the broader struggles that defined the Great Plains during this era. For the tribes involved, the battle underscored the importance of adaptability, unity, and strategic thinking. It also highlighted the intricate balance of power that governed intertribal relations, where alliances and rivalries could shift as quickly as the prairie winds. In the years that followed, the Comanche and the Cheyenne would continue to navigate the complexities of life on the plains. Their histories, shaped by moments of conflict and cooperation, remain a testament to their resilience and ingenuity.